getting acceleration here with this new powertrain. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Jaguar F-Pace R-Dynamic S. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Jaguar here in downtown Salt Lake for giving me some time with this F-Pace. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood, we have a 3-liter inline-six that's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's both supercharged and turbocharged and has a total system output of 395 horsepower and then 406 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 20 around town and then 26 on the highway. Let's go over the front end of this particular F-Pace. So first off, just like all the other F-Paces, you still have the beautiful body lines that go through there on the center of the hood and then here on the side. And then you guys can see here in the sunlight this beautiful white metallic paint. And then coming down below, we've got the full LED lights with the LED accent lights that come down to the side. We've got parking sensors all along the front. You have your R-Dynamic badge, and then you have the Jaguar logo, which just looks absolutely fantastic. There's actually a camera just sitting above it. And then other than that, that is everything for the front end of the F-Pace. Coming around the side here, you've got two 65mm tires wrapped around 22-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. Perfectly proportioned. I think they look absolutely fantastic here on the F-Pace. And notice that these silver wheels match the rest of the accenting you get in the car, and then also on the rails there on the top, and then around the windows as well. But other than that, here's your full side view on this F-Pace. Now, popping into the back of the F-Pace, we have a bunch of goodies back here that come with the car, including this bag that has the Jaguar logo on it. I think that's pretty neat. And then notice you've got a 12-volt right there. Now, I can't lift this floor up with one hand, but underneath is the spare tire. And then notice that you already have a cargo cover built in. So yeah, just really good. And well, so you go. Now here's the back end of the F-Pace. So first off, you can see that we've got the LED taillights, which I think look absolutely fantastic. You've got your F-Pace badge, you've got the P400 badge to let everyone know that you're gonna beat them in a race because this is the faster version. And then we've got all the parking sensors here at the bottom, and then you've got the wedge coverings over the exhaust tips, which again, just go with the overall styling here on the back end of the F-Pace, and that's all. Now here's the door panel in the F-Pace. So first off, you've got beautiful leather here at the top with the contrasted stitching, and then you've got more leather down below with more stitching that goes throughout. And notice the stitching matches, which is really nice. I love this trim that goes across. You've got a couple speakers for the Meridian sound system as well. You've got your window control right here, but that's everything for the door panel. Now here are the seats in the back of the F-Pace. So notice you've got the full leather seats here with the perforated leather here in the center portion. Just looks and feels very nice, and I absolutely love the color on this particular one. But let's pop in. Whoop. Guys can see that the headroom was solid there, and you can see the legroom's really good as well. We've got a little compartment, well, not compartment, but we've got netting here. And then notice that you've got some vents, and then we've got an area you can charge devices, and then you can use this for some extra storage. And then finishing things off, this is an armrest slash cup holder situation, and just look how beautiful the back seat area is. Now here's the door panel in the front of the F-Pace. So first off, again, you've got the leather here at the top with the contrasted stitching. Then you have the same trim that you guys saw in the back with a couple more speakers for the Meridian sound system. We've got all of our memory seats right here, and then the beautiful brown leather just down below with the same stitching. We've got all of our window controls right there, and that's the door panel for the front. Now here's the front seat. Again, we've got that same beautiful brown leather, and just look at the overall design here of the seat. Looks and feels fantastic. Again, you've got all the perforated leather. Controls for the seat are just there on the side, and then here is the pedal layout just down below, and also you've got your R-Dynamic plaque. That's just to release the hatch, and well, there's one more look before we pop in. Here is the steering wheel setup, which I absolutely love the design. So you've got soft touch leather on the outside of the steering wheel, and then you've got perforated leather here on the center, so it just lends to a really nice feel, and you actually get good grip here with the thumb holds. And then notice on this side, we've got stuff for the cruise control system. You've got your voice command controls for the center screen. Beautiful paddles here on the back, which feel and look really nice. You've got your light stock slash turn signal stock, windshield wiper stock on the other side, and that's all for the steering wheel. Now here's the center gauge cluster in the F-Pace. First off, we have this center screen which you can scroll through a couple different menus that just give you different bits of information on the vehicle itself, the media, all that kind of stuff. Really good, just modern system. And then I love the look of the gauges overall, how they're just that digital readout. I just think it looks really nice. Now we do have some different drive modes here in the F-Pace. So first off, we've got the dynamic mode, we've got our comfort, eco, and then we have our ADSR mode, which that's going to be the mode that you're going to go in. It's kind of like adverse weather conditions, and yeah, just really easy to use with the whole drive mode select system. And notice when you go to the different drive modes, it takes a second, and then it says the drive mode's confirmed. So if you accidentally click on the wrong mode, it doesn't throw the car into that mode until it's confirmed. And I love how the dynamic makes the gauge cluster red. Now here's the infotainment system in the F-Pace. So first off, let's pop it into reverse. You guys can see the backup camera system. So notice you've got the backup camera with the trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. And we do have the bird's eye view. Notice that you can press these little buttons right here and it'll give you a different viewpoint out of the camera, which I think is just really good overall. But that's when you put it into reverse. Now there's another way to access the cameras. You press that camera button there on the screen, and then notice you get this full digital view of the F-Pace, which obviously stitches all of the pictures together. Looks really good, and I just think that's so cool that you can see everything outside as if you are standing out of the car, which again, I don't know, I just think that's really cool. And then notice all of the different camera views you can have through this whole system. So you can press these buttons right here, and notice how it actually turned the camera. But then if I press this button right here, notice it'll actually give me a viewpoint out of the regular camera depending on what button I press. So from a camera system perspective, it's amazing. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, response time on the screen is absolutely fantastic. I love the look of it. The integration here into the dash, I think just looks absolutely perfect. But notice that you've got all the different screens you can go into. Like, for example, you can see this that shows us what's happened. We haven't driven it all, so it just says, hey, you've had the car on for 3 minutes and you've driven no distance. But notice that it even tells you the energy impact, which notice that it says AC is the biggest impact, and then you can even get eco tips. I don't know, I just think that's so cool, all the stuff you can get information wise. But yeah, overall the infotainment system is great, and there's a ton of cool features you can access through it. Now down below here we have all of the climate controls. This does have a dual zone climate system, and it has the coolest climate controls in the car industry. So first off, notice that this is for the temperature, but if I want to change the fan speed, I pull it towards me and that'll change the fan speed. If I want to go back to temperature, push it in. But then if I want to change the seats, let's say I want to have some AC seat action happening, you just push it in again and then you pull it to go back to fan speed. It's just such a seamless system, so easy to use. Absolutely love it. We have a wireless phone charger right here, and then we've got the shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission. Notice you have all of the leather stitching there in the center portion. And then we've got our stop-start button right here. This is just the volume control for the radio, your drive mode select, and then notice you actually do have an off-road cruise control, and then your stability control. Couple cup holders, and then we have a 12 volt right there, and then just notice the continuation of all the beautiful brown leather. Here is the center console. Opening it up, you can see it's got a good amount of storage space, got a couple of USBs inside of it. And then over here, again, beautiful trim at the top. We've got beautiful black leather with the brown stitching, more brown leather down below. And then if we open up the glove box, it's fully lined with felt, and that's all for that area. Now, up top here, we do have a full panoramic sunroof. Controls for the sunroof is just right there. And then you guys can see it goes all the way back, and we have a full black headliner, and that's all for the top. So here's the window sticker for this particular F-Pace. This is the standard equipment. Sorry about my shadow right there, but this is the standard equipment. Feel free to freeze the frame so you can read all of the equipment this comes with from the factory. It's got tons of standard equipment actually. And then you guys can see the base MSRP before any options are added, $65,200, and then all the options this particular car has. And then after all the options, you can see the total MSRP, $79,960. Let's take it out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here in the F-Pace. So first off, visibility of the hood is great, and hopefully you can see the heads-up display from your point of view angle. Here's your visibility through both the mirrors. They do have blind spot monitoring. I love seeing the curves through the mirrors. And then here's visibility out throughout the rest of the rear. And that all being said, let's set off. So we are setting off here in the F-Pace. Notice that it has the front camera there because I went from reverse to drive, and then it pops on the front camera so that it makes maneuvering even easier if you're in tight spaces. But actually setting off the F-Pace, how does it drive with this package? So first off, ride quality is very smooth. This road's actually pretty beat up, and so it shows you how a car actually handles bumps and unevenness and all that kind of stuff. And this car just glides over it. It's so smooth. So from a luxury car perspective, absolutely fantastic from the ride quality side of things. And then from the noise side of things, it's a very well insulated cabin. It's somewhat windy today, and it's also pretty high traffic today. Actually, it's crazy how many cars are out there, and it's not an issue whatsoever. Now, this little part right here has got quite a few bumps, and so it really shows with the suspension. Doesn't upset it, and I mean, yes, you can feel that it's happening, but it's very minimal. You're very comfortable, like it's a very comfortable experience going over bumps and everything in the F-Pace. And then in terms of the brakes and all that, the brakes are really good. Stopping power is great on the F-Pace, and just overall it just has this really nice luxury car driving experience with a little bit of a sporty edge, because you actually do feel quite a bit with the steering in the F-Pace. It definitely kind of, it's hard to explain, but it has this nice weightedness to it. It's not heavy, but you can definitely just feel a little bit, definitely feels sportier. Now let's get an acceleration here with this new powertrain. It's quick, let me tell you, it is quick. Again, it's supercharged and turbocharged, and so you get low-end torque from the supercharger situation, but then you get the high-end pull once the turbos kick in, and so it actually gives you a really linear power band, and I really like that. It's super unique. One of the first manufacturers to do this was Volvo. I think some other people have done it in the past, but Volvo is the one that just pops into my head instantly. And this though, it feels fast, but like you get that same feeling that I've gotten in the past when I've driven Volvos. The one thing I will say to the benefits of the Jaguar, and I recently reviewed a Velar as well, is this definitely feels like the power figure that the manufacturer says. This is about 400 horsepower at 395. It feels every bit the 395 horsepower that it is stated to be, if not faster. So yeah, great from a power perspective. And then in terms of everything else with the car from a driving perspective, it's great. So let's get into summing things up, and I'll pop it back into normal or comfort mode rather. So exterior styling, I think, is absolutely fantastic. I've always loved how the F-Paces look, and I mean, just Jaguar styling in general, it's just beautiful. And then in terms of the interior, this interior is amazing. You've got stitching and leather absolutely everywhere, just nice contrast, and it just looks really nice. All of your touch points feel really nice. The paddle shifters, the steering wheel, the gear selector, all of it feels and looks just very, very nice. And then in terms of the rest of the interior, like the seats and all that, the seats are very comfortable. I love the look of the seats, and it's just really nice place to be. And then as for the rest of the car from driving experience, it drives fantastic. So here's what I have to say is, if you're looking at the new F-Pace and you're kind of like, should I go for this new F-Pace with the new powertrain? I'm gonna say yes. I love the power delivery. It feels very linear, and it feels really quick as well. So yeah, the new F-Pace, 2 thumbs up for me. Now let's get into sum things up for our video on this 2021 Jaguar F-Pace. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Jaguar here of Salt Lake for giving me some time with this F-Pace. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you guys in that next video.